So what you're saying is it's not enough. Just write it off like a prescription drug. You've been fussing how we never touch, but who can bother with this kind of fussing when we've been walking this
Media joined students who were preparing to go for internship come next semester in a short training program where they were taught on corporate skills at the Riara University auditorium. Before we dive into the event, let's take a look at this. Is what survives when what has been learned has been forgotten. Our own lecturer, Ms. Susan Owor, took initiative and created a platform for the students to interact and learn more on the corporate world.
Even in a practical class, you need to incorporate certain elements that are a bit different and they're not the normal thing that we possibly do. But then again, also them being the ones who are seated on the other side and they're the ones who are making the decisions, I felt it was very important for them to tell us what is their thinking and what is their advice in terms of the way they are thinking, so that even as we're in second year, we're in third year, you can actually be able to prepare yourself before you go into the job market.
Starting us off with Joy Doreen Bira, a journalist, strategic communicator, moderator, speaker, media trainer, and content creator who rose from 0 to 100.
I was taught on the job, like from the word zero. I was told about an audition, and clearly I knew I was not meant to be on television. So I just said, let me just accompany you, go do auditions. This was a friend of mine who was telling me. And as I waited for him in the hallway, someone said, hey, just go in there, say your names and get out. I mean, you have nothing to lose. And I was 20 at this point. So I said, what do I have to lose? So let me just walk in there. I went in there and said, and they asked me questions, why do you want to be on TV? I said, honestly, I do not want to be on TV. I just came up here because someone down there convinced me to come here. So what do you want to see on TV? What do you watch on TV? I said, I don't even watch news because I'm an evening student. I study 5 to 9 or 5 to 10 sometimes, and so I don't watch news. But if there could be something similar in the morning, when I'm not in class, I think I would try to watch television. From that point on, it was from what I said, not what I looked like or how blunt I was, that actually got them interested in what I was saying. So that, I think, is what really got me to pass that audition into the next phase. So I was trained, and I think about 2.5 weeks later, I was told, you're going on the air, and this is your co-host. My co-host was like 6 years in the field of journalism, so I was basically learning the ropes. I didn't have presentation communication skills, so I learned everything on the job. Allowing myself to be taught everything from the word go is what actually got me to where I am today. I do not take it for granted that there are people out there who have studied journalism, and I haven't, and I'm where I am, and I know that some of them have actually not gotten the opportunities that I have. But I'll tell you one thing, if there's something that really, I would say, has gotten me to where I am, it has already been mentioned, read, 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 read. Even if it's the most useless thing you would think about, read it. You do not know when it comes in handy. Be curious, just get to know. Every day you wake up, figure out what is the latest news in the country today, in politics, in business, in sports, in entertainment, whatever it is, it always comes in handy.
Other speakers who graced the event included Mr. Lomai Ponda, CEO What's Good Studio, Mr. Newton Debu, Communication Manager at URIA, our own HR, Miss Dorothy, HR from Hope FM, Mr. John Paul, last but not least, Winnie Rono from the Standard Group. Let's hear what they had to say.
Don't watch Perfect Wedding. Don't say that. There's some men of problems here, I won't say it, but watch, try it there and watch. There's some things around there you can learn. You can learn from KTN, you can learn from Citizen, but once you have the remote at men, try to watch CNN. And then over the weekend, someone on Al Jazeera, I won't say the name, the program is called he has two programs, head-to-head, up-front. Even journalism class as a student, look for this person. I would say the name. That's our assignment.
First thing is think in terms of what are you doing or what are you going to sell as a product which is going to be your strongest point in your spheres of life. So some of us are videographers, some are video editors, some are writers, some are social media gurus and all those kind of stuff. Some are seated here and basically are going to be marketers. So some are creative designers and motion graphic designers. So just pick within the multimedia sphere what is the product you want to sell.
So as I see it is possible. You can also advance in the education field. If you're interested, please pursue it. Get connected to someone and start working towards it. Plan on how you're going to do your degree, your master's, if you're doing your diploma, finish your diploma, advance to your degree, master's and everything. Then when you're doing your master's, if possible, get an attachment. Get someone who will be attached to you and get to learn about teaching and lecturing.
We look at the attitude. We rather hire somebody who has very good attitude and minimal skills than somebody who has a bad attitude and a lot of skills. We rather hire somebody who has an attitude so that we develop them to have those skills, because skills can be developed. They say attitude, if you have a bad attitude, that's it, that's your DNA. So you need to work on your attitudes and ensure that you have the right attitude every time you're going to an organization.
I think a lot of opportunities have opened for us, but you can always decide the kind of organization you want to work for, understand their values and what they're looking for in you, and if it's a kind of place you'll fit in or not, and then decide whether that's what you'll go with.
It was eye-opening because I didn't think us as millennials affect the workspace that much, and I also thought in as much as maybe we would have been affecting the workspace, I assumed that they were supposed to be creating a space for us to actually grow and become better people. But at the end of it all, I learned a lot. I learned what's not and what's there, and it was great. I'm looking forward for such a session.
Indeed, the corporate world is a really tough world. It is my hope that the students got to learn a thing or two to help them cope in the near future. I've been your host, Brenda Kenywa.
All this us, feeling all when hate how much you